Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 361 Rural Sociology class. I am so glad you're taking this. I know we're a small group, but I'm excited about this topic. I've been wanting to teach this for quite a while. First introduction, I'm Jan Todd. I'll be your instructor for the next 6 weeks. Starting this fall, I will actually be a full-time assistant professor in the sociology department. And also, I've been here for about 3 years and I love Emporia State. If you are a person who is a person on campus, I know that I may have run into, and I'm glad you're in class. If you're taking this from distance learning, then we also welcome you. I welcome you and hope to get to know you over this important 6 weeks in topic. So I want to go through a couple things. Some of you may have never taken an online class, and this being a new class, I like to go through the whole module system so that you have a better understanding. Because it's the first time I've taught it, the lectures will post usually Sunday because I'm still working on them as we work through the course. You're the first group that I work with, and I often build off of the questions that I see developing from the discussions. So let's look at how we look at these modules and understand the assignments, and then also how to get a hold of me as we do this in distance learning. First, the home is set up for you. When you come in on your student view, it will always be on this module system. And the modules are set up for each week with some discussion boards, a flip grid, which I'll talk about, and an assignment that's a short text box entry to go towards your final project. Each week I will try to have a little video or something in an announcement to tell you what my expectations are for the week. And again, I also am trying to be very flexible. So I'm a person that if you have any concerns, you can give me a call and or text, which a lot of students do. And my text is made readily available on the syllabus and at the end of each of my lectures. So the syllabus is set up to where you can look, and you can also, I will put it in the files as well, but it takes you through the class focus, all the department goals that we're expecting to achieve, and also my requirements, which is to watch the recorded lectures each week. I will try to keep those around 20 minutes. Participation in discussion boards, which will talk about the lecture itself and the uploaded video for the week, which might be a TED Talk, and or it might be some sort of educational piece that kind of helps us understand things like the big words Gemeinschaft and Gesellschaft, or Gemeinschaft or Gesellschaft. I'm not German, so I don't say this correctly. Weekly Flipgrid responses on the 2 novels that we're reading, which I'm excited for you to read Hillbilly Elegy. It's a good read. I think a lot of people have seen this on the bestseller list. This is more of a memoir, and I want us to know the difference when we're studying rural cultures between studying from our own vantage point, our own family system, and also a well-known sociologist, Arlie Russell Hochschild, has done a wonderful piece called Strangers in Their Own Land. It's not just dealing with rural, but it does a lot of rural themes in her ethnography. She is not connected to the community that she's studying, and it gives us a better understanding of how we study rural sociology with an ethnography background and understanding the tools of personal interview. We'll do weekly assignments pertaining to the final project. These will be short, but it's to keep you on track to do a final presentation on a small community that you're going to be picking. And it does not have to be in the United States. Rural sociology, as you'll learn in the first lecture, is not just about the United States. We tend to put that image in our head, but there are many rural places across the globe, and they are all important, and they all supply our understanding of what it means to be global citizens and all the different cultures that we express in that rural environment. Finally, you'll have a final project, voiceover, and paper. The paper will be short. It's just something to help me see how you put your research together in understanding the small town, and also being able to look at your writing directly. And then a final project voiceover, which we will have a Zoom meeting next week or not next week, but 2 weeks from now, to go over the final project. These are my grading policies. I will grade 25% for the discussion boards or anything under the discussion board in assignment. So when you go to assignments, you might see a couple things like checking out the time that we can get together to Zoom. That might give you 5 points. So make sure to look at all those things. They might go into that category. 25% for Flipgrid responses for weekly readings. We do those 5 out of the 6 weeks. Your final project week, you will not be expected to do one of those. 25% on the final project build, which is that assignment I was talking about where you put a small text box answer about some of the things, not as long as a discussion, but 2 paragraphs or so each week to kind of tell me what you're learning about demographics or videos that you might be accessing to study the small rural population that you want to focus on. These are all of our policies, which we try to be as inclusive as possible. If you have any needs, I will work with you, everything. If there's something I can do to make this easier for you, I totally will do the best I can. My syllabus is going to be under files. I haven't gotten that put up yet, or it may be by the time you watch this. So when it's under files, then you can download it and it will have all of the highlighted headings so that you can get through that more accessibly. Our class schedule as it looks without the module, but in this format, and I have the videos also connected to this as well, so you can see what I'm expecting and when those are going to be due. And then you go through each one of those and it gives you a course summary at the end. So that's our syllabus. The next thing I want to show you, of course, is our most important piece, which is the module system. And I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what we do each week. It's not up yet, but when you are finished with this video, this introduction video, which I hope you take a chance to look at, I will have an instructor lecture, and that will be over the terms or the concepts that I'm trying to focus on, like what is rural sociology and how do we study it and what's the history of that. Then a short TED Talk. When you click on one of these links, it will open into another, it's a little slow right now, but into another setting so that you can watch it more easily. I'm not going to have us watch it, but that is sometimes about a 20-minute video. It can be 10 minutes, but those will be, again, I have those videos through the first 4 weeks, but on your 5th week, I don't have an extra video for you, just my instructor lecture that week. Discussions are very important. You will do all your work for the discussions in the discussion at the initial post. It's not going to post right now because I don't have it, but you will be asked to do 450 to 500 words on your first post about a generalized question that I will have in the discussion about the lecture and also the video that was presented that week. Not about the novel. We're going to use the Flipgrid for that time. Although, if you would like to bring up something or some points from the novels and the books that we are reading, please feel free to do so. I just want to make sure you spend most of that wording in the discussion on the terms and being able to unpack those and as well apply them to the video that we're looking at for that week. Discussion responses is just a placeholder assignment. So what you don't need to put anything in this. I just put the 10 points for the 2 responses that you give. So you will have your first discussion post on the first week, won't be due till Friday, especially with the holiday, and responses by Sunday. Then following for the next 5 weeks, they will always be due 11:59 p.m. on Wednesdays, with Friday responses at 11:59. The responses are 2 other people in class with 50-word responses. Not very long, but something to engage the conversation, maybe questions or agreements, or maybe even something that you might not agree on, but done with respect. The project build then is something to this, it will have a question here each week about what it is that you are going to be working on. For example, I want you to start thinking about what kind of a rural community might you want to study for your final project. Where is it? And what are the things that make you interested in that as your subject? So you go back to each of the modules. You'll see each week I'm pretty heavily built into week 2 and 3 with lots of things, including a Zoom meeting we will schedule. That's 25 points for the Zoom meeting. I also want you to know, though, if you cannot make the Zoom meeting, which I prefer you to make the meeting if you can, but I understand all of our schedules, that you will have a chance to, after the Zoom meeting is recorded, watch the entire thing and answer some questions. And then if you have any questions, I will look at those as well. Each week, again, there will be an instructor lecture first, the added video second, and both are expected to be watched by the Wednesday of that week so that you can do your response. And the assignments are always to do a flip grid with the books, with the questions. And when you do a flip grid, let me see if I can go into this one. It will have a link to the actual flip grid. But I also, when I, up in this announcement, you'll see the connected number to get to my Flipgrid, and you will sign in with your either Gmail account with Emporia or the regular Emporia address. I have it open for @emporia.edu and at g.emporia.edu. If you have any problems with that, let me know. And I will have questions when you go into that Flipgrid. Let's go ahead and go to that so you can kind of see if you've never done Flipgrid before. Just remember me. Like log in, see if it just automatically goes. But your Microsoft will, yeah, there we go. It will say that when it's happened. And this is where it will take you. And this is the first one, Hillbilly Elegy. It will have a couple questions, and then you'll post here with a video. And that video, when you plus on that, has all kinds of things where you can put, please play this first, which is my little instruction or kind of focus for the week. Answer these questions, and it's about 5 minutes that you have available for each one of the topics. And if you look at the topics, they will be here, and we're going to have a little hello with this so that we can get a little extra credit point on that. Okay, I'm going to get out of that, go back to modules. The last thing I want to share as you go through each one of these, a Flipgrid, a discussion, a little text box each week, that the big thing we are trying to do, there is no test in this, there is only a final presentation. The final presentation will be to, again, pick a rural community, either in the United States or abroad, that you'd like to study throughout the course. An example might be farming community in Kansas, or bayous in the South, or mountain regions in Mongolia. I don't care where it is, as long as you can get into the information and find adequate information, which is often hard with rural communities. But let's say that you're a person that loves Polynesian communities. There may be some Polynesian rural communities you want to study. Let's use that as the background, because not everything is about a rural community here in the US, even though a large focus of our reading will be done about rural US. Use the weekly readings to build your project. Your first week, you're going to focus on demographics of the community you're studying, population, ethnicity, average income, those types of things. Then the next weeks, we're going to look at culture. What are the norms, the glue that creates that community, how genders are regarded, race, income level. Then social organization, how does this community and its society exist, and what are the ways that they deal with their structure? Also, what are the social problems that they face? And then also, every community is globally connected in some way. With globalization, that does not just mean corporate. That means that we are in a system where our livelihood depends on nation-state interaction and also corporate interaction. Most of our goods are no longer sold just locally. We have a combination at least, and then some sort of conclusion, which we'll talk more about. And then this talks more about the narrated PowerPoint, and then also how to do voiceovers. Again, we'll talk more about that at our Zoom meeting. Okay, the other thing I wanted to lift up on your final presentation is there will be a little paper. This is your place to find the need for what I'm expecting on your paper. Very simple, nothing huge, nice rubric that helps you understand what I'm looking for. And then finally, a peer review, which when we're done with our projects, you will at least peer review one others. But if you do others, I will give so many points for peer reviews, and that will help your final grade as well. All right, I think that is it. I hope you enjoy this class. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've always had a fascination with rural communities. I was never raised in one. I was a suburban girl and have lived in larger communities most of my life, but it is fascinating and part of actually my research, which I'll share a little bit more about throughout the course. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching this long video. I hope it has helped you understand what we're doing a little bit more.